So inspiration in general comes from life, observing life around us, observing either our contemporary society, our culture, our history, or sometimes it could be a personal thing. It could be a personal joke or a personal story that bring inspiration into the work. While creating Medusa, I was reflecting on our socio-political climate and looking at where we are as a society, but also environmental issues that concern us at the moment. And through the process of research, slowly it became to be reflecting on the myth of Medusa and its kind of wider connotations in our contemporary society, and reflection into where it's influencing politics and in history and how the story been used throughout history. So most of us know the story of Medusa from Metamorphosis by Ovid, but rather than retelling the story, I was more interested in looking at the different connotation of that story and almost deconstruct it. And while reading the myth again, I realized that a myth probably been told and retold throughout history because they carry some social significance in them. And the story of Medusa I found very interesting, especially the elements that not been retold and almost forgotten, which is the rape by Poseidon in the temple of Athena, and the punishment of Athena to make her this monster that most of us recognize her with. This part of story almost forgotten, and I find it really interesting, especially in our time, in our kind of political Me Too era, reflect back on that story and that kind of forgotten elements in that story. What was very significant also for me was the 2016 election of Donald Trump, when he used the image of Medusa in his campaign, and was those posters and t-shirt printed with him as Perseus holding the head of Hillary Clinton as Medusa, and brought me back to realize that actually the image of Medusa been used throughout history to silence strong women in many different times and connotation and places. So kind of observing that story with those elements and those connotations were my main inspiration that brought into the creation of that piece.